I'm going to begin the proceedings today by introducing a very special student, Jamie Chang, Section I, who will in fact introduce the afternoon. Jamie.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to HBS Class Day 2010. Dean Light, Dean Badarako, Sir Ronald Cohen, faculty, staff, and our dear family and friends, on behalf of Faber Omana and the HBS class of 2010, thank you for joining us today for this celebration. My name is Jamie Chang, proud member of Section G, and token Asian Australian Diversity Quota admission. Together with Todd Orenstein from Section E, we have served on the Student Association Senate as co-chairs of the Class Day Committee. We would also like to recognise the hard work of Anjali Vaidya from Section A and Kelly Diamond, our rockstar administrator, who have done all the legwork behind the scenes to make this day possible. So I know some of you are wondering, what exactly is Class Day, and why do Harvard students need a whole week of events to graduate? Well, something I've learned here at HBS is that business school students like to celebrate. Our time here started with the 100-year anniversary of HBS, and since then, we've celebrated Mondays to kick off the week, Tuesday trivia nights, Wednesday HBS club parties, Thursday karaoke, and of course TGIF Fridays. On the weekends, we've celebrated Iceland's bankruptcy, Oktoberfest in the beer houses of Munich, Carnival in Brazil and Trinidad and Tobago, and more recently, Queen's Day in Amsterdam. Name a national holiday, we've probably celebrated it. As such, we thought it only fitting for us to have this class day to celebrate and showcase the great HBS class of 2010. Our program will start off today with my roommate, Patrick Chun, and my college buddy, Scott Daubin, who together are otherwise known as the Student Association Co-Presidents and orchestrators of the best EC year ever. Next, we will honour the faculty members who our class has voted to be our favourites. HBS is truly blessed with some of the most accomplished and dedicated faculty members who demonstrate a true passion for teaching. It has been an honour to learn from them both academic and broader life lessons that we will take with us beyond our time here at HBS. Following these faculty awards, Anjali Vaidya will introduce our Class Day student speaker, John Coleman. John is a gifted speaker who was selected by his peers after an intensive 2-round selection process involving more than 30 other gifted student speakers. After hearing from John, Todd Orenstein will introduce our Class Day keynote speaker, Sir Ronald Cohen, a founder of the private equity industry in Europe, who is currently a director of social finance, seeking to provide private sector commercial solutions to problems of social deprivation in Britain and to conflict in the Middle East. For our honoured guests from all over the world, such as Faber Omana's parents, Andre and Beatrice, and of course my mum and dad, Xiang and Shirley, we hope that today's celebration will serve as a warm introduction to our class and to Harvard Business School. We are so thankful for everything you have done for us, and we could not have made it here without all of your support. For my fellow classmates, we hope that today's celebration will remind you of what an amazing privilege it has been to be a part of the Harvard Business School class of 2010. With that in mind, I would like to invite our class leaders, Pat and Scott, to the podium. Being Pat's roommate, there's a lot of great stuff I could tell you about Patrick and his deeper, and deepest V t-shirts. Hi there, Mrs. Chun. However, by way of public introduction, Patrick is originally from Los Angeles, but came to the East Coast to attend college at Harvard, where he studied economics and also obtained a master's in Korean economic history. He then took the path less traveled by joining McKinsey in New York, before getting involved in technology private equity investing in San Francisco. Here at HBS, he is a proud member of Section B, and he will be working in venture capital after HBS while also entertaining several entrepreneurial aspirations. Having put in many long hours for the essay, he is famous for falling asleep anywhere and everywhere, whether it be restaurants, loud bars, or our living room floor. Our other esteemed leader is Scott Daubin, my fellow Princeton Tiger and proud member of Section E. At Princeton, Scott studied chemistry, which he enjoyed so much that he joined Bain & Company in New York after college. He then worked for a medical device startup, which he also enjoyed so much that he'll be returning to Bain in New York after HBS. He is originally from Fort Worth, Texas, and his proudest achievements working with the SA this year were organizing the Best of ECU Professor Speaker Series and organizing the alumni dinner events for current students to meet HBS alumni in a casual setting. Please join me in welcoming Patrick and Scott.
On behalf of the class of 2010, let us express our deepest gratitude to the family members, mentors, and friends we have here today. The ceremonies over the next 2 days represent a celebration of the achievement attained by the members of our class, but the many successes we have accomplished were made possible only through the loving support we received from all of you. We owe our families a big round of applause. In addition, as presidents of the Student Association, we are grateful to the dozens of student leaders on campus who have selflessly contributed their time to shaping our experience in ways both large and small. For instance, section leaders like Section B's Senator Brad Rollface, who stepped up in his busy second year to work on school-wide educational and social issues while leading the Finance Club to a successful year. Or other section officers, like my own admissions rep, Gordon Ross, who patiently escorted visitors around campus every day, giving these applicants their first example of the kind of friendly colleagues they might meet here at HBS. To our section presidents, our section senators, to our social reps and our ed reps, to the club presidents and conference chairs, and all the other students who gave back to our school, thank you for making this an experience that is truly unforgettable. Lastly, we want to give a special thanks to Dean Jay Light. Dean Light has been the fulcrum of our community here and has successfully steered the school through academic and economic challenges. Dean Light joined the faculty in 1969 and has been dedicated to this school long before most of us were born. So on behalf of our class, we wanted to give the following memento, a signed frame with the signatures of our entire class, to Jay Light, our dean and fellow member of the class of 2010. He says thanks. In the following speeches, you will hear reflections about the school from individual perspectives of two speakers, our colleague John Coleman and our keynote speaker, Sir Ronald Cohen. Patrick and I, instead, wanted to speak from the perspective of our class, the class of 2010, in order to summarize what characteristics define us, what makes us unique, and posit what might be in store for us in the future after graduation.
So to begin, what does it mean to be the Harvard Business School class of 2010? What common traits, if any, do we share, and why are they important? If we go back in time 2 years ago, before any of us arrived on campus, it might seem at first that our class had very little in common. 900 students from 71 different nations working in 68 different industries. We seemed a diverse and disparate group of people. But when we arrived on campus and sat together in our Aldrich classrooms, commonalities quickly became apparent. We discovered we're all in many ways wired the same. We're thoughtful, driven, and inviting. We've definitely mastered firm handshakes. And amidst all our debate and discussion, there surfaces an underlying current of agreement. We believe that business should be a positive force in society, that entrepreneurs can help create prosperity, and that leadership and competition are crucial for making a better world. But these similarities alone by no means distinguish our class. For sure, the world is full of gregarious, handshaking capitalists. These traits and shared beliefs are only the foundation of our class, a solid base upon which we've built an edifice of common experience. We share, for instance, a distinct vocabulary that outsiders might confuse for some sort of secret code. Skydecking, pit diving, IXPs, ISRs, the X and the Y. I still can't figure out why we don't just call ourselves second years. But regardless, fellow ECs, we do it anyway. We conform to unique social norms, like clapping at a meeting's end and building on a classmate's comment. We pass down, from one generation to another, stories of cutting-edge companies and heroic characters like Sealed Air and Eric Peterson. We regulate our actions through a collective commitment to our community values of respect, honesty, integrity, and personal accountability. These tribal traditions that we share, our common language, norms, heroes, and values, should not be underestimated. In a class as big as ours, no single individual can expect to know or even meet every colleague. But when we do meet a new classmate, the friendship tends to form with ease, fostered by these similarities.
That's all well and good, you might say, but do any of these school traditions distinguish our class from those that became before or after us? What, if anything, makes the class of 2010 unique? Above and beyond our natural personalities and common traditions, the class of 2010 will share a special bond because of the unprecedented economic upheaval that we witnessed during our time at HBS. We applied to business school as the global economy peaked and the financial sector soared to new heights. But by the time we arrived, the housing bubble had burst and the stock market had begun its precipitous decline. It's hard to imagine a more fascinating time to be a student here at Harvard Business School. The economic crisis certainly offered challenges as well, but our class responded to these pressures with creative solutions. We leveraged the networks of our peers for job leads and industry contacts. We interviewed for jobs in non-traditional sectors like government, education, and nonprofit. And we launched businesses of our own, written with plans that we drafted here on campus with the help of colleagues and faculty. The scrappy resourcefulness and unselfish mutual support demonstrated by our class will serve as a model to future business school classes who are graduating in the midst of a recession. We've spoken briefly about how our class has come together and what aspects of our class have differentiated us from others at HBS. Finally, we want to begin a broader discussion about what might be in store for our class in the years to come.
61 years ago, the Harvard Business School class of 1949 graduated from this university and started their careers at the dawn of a great period of post-war economic prosperity. The class went on to become widely regarded as one of the most successful classes in the school's history. 28% retired as CEO or president of their company, and at one time included the CEOs of Bloomingdale's, Johnson & Johnson, and Xerox among the ranks. Over the years, the class has been the topic of numerous books and studies, including a comprehensive survey conducted by our own esteemed professor, Richard Tedlow. The researchers distinguished between two very different types of business success. The first is what we're all familiar with, achieving a top leadership position and being rewarded with the trappings of wealth, status, and power. The class of 1949 was certainly successful in that regard. Perhaps surprisingly, however, it was a second type of success that truly differentiated this class from others before and after it. To achieve this second type of success, the graduates had to navigate three conflicts that will certainly arise in our own careers. The first was finding work they enjoyed versus making money at a job they did not. The second was holding on to the love of their families while maintaining a commitment to their careers. The third involved balancing the pressures of a competitive economy versus maintaining a high standard of business ethics. That is, the ability to advance their careers without cutting corners. As we start off on our own paths, it's impossible to predict what success we'll have achieved 50 years from now, 2060. It's no doubt that by 2060, among us there will be numerous famous CEOs, powerful political figures, and wealthy investors. But what if we measure the history of our class not by the quantity of people who achieved the first type of success, but rather by the quality of people seeking the second type? What if we leave here today seeking success defined not by a list of steps to take, but by a set of conflicts to balance? Class of 2010, As we leave this campus to join organizations around the globe, our class becomes the newest torchbearer of the HBS name. In aggregate, the personal qualities we project, the cutting-edge knowledge we disseminate, and the communal values we espouse will define to the outside world the very nature of Harvard Business School, what this university stands for, and what its graduates seek to accomplish. Fellow classmates and loved ones, congratulations on this momentous occasion. Let the graduation of the class of 2010 be an occasion not just for us and our families, but one that the world will celebrate for years to come. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Patrick and Scott. You guys have done a great job serving as leaders of our class, and we are grateful for all the time and energy you dedicated to make sure we enjoyed the best EC year ever.